You see us live in the group?
Are we live?
We are, my dear.
Oh,
Happy birthday. It's somebody's birthday. I don't know whose birthday it is, but it's somebody's birthday.
it is. It's my birthday. Oh my goodness. And it's,
Day 5 is your birthday.
yes, exactly. It's some anniversary of my 25th birthday. And so, yes, I am. I mean, I love it. I love we get to spend this time together for my birthday. I am looking for our crew in here in this group. Oh my gosh. Okay. We got on late because we already have lots of folks in here.
Oh, you can see them.
Yes. So yes, I do. We are live. And thank y'all for being here to celebrate my birthday. I mean, I know you're not here to celebrate my birthday, but
Yes, they are.
here
They're here to celebrate your birthday.
here to spend some time with me on my birthday as we close out our session on is homeschooling for me, our 5 considerations, 5 questions we should consider, when we're thinking about homeschooling. And so, yeah, I'm just really excited to be with you all and my girl D tonight. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. I see them. Thank you so, so much. I saw them today too. Yep, Stevie Wonder as well. Love that. Can't have a birthday without that song. So I appreciate it. So I guess when we've been talking about establishing your why. When we first got started, that was day 1. Why do I want to homeschool? We talked about how that's the foundation, the motivating factor, that something that we use. Our why is what we use when things get hard and challenging. But as Ayana mentioned in the comments, she also said it's an opportunity for inspiration as well. It's not always working from fear, but it's also from a form of it can be inspiring. And so why helps to inspire as well. And we've talked about the importance of thinking through when we're also going to have time to do this, have time to homeschool.
Definitely. And so, other points we've touched on this week are the socialization and the need to actually brainstorm your ideas and your strategies that you want to use in order to expose your child and yourself to social situations. We touched on the fact that um, those can include family, church, social circles, taking classes together. We mentioned how Delise and my son take virtual programming classes together, even though they're far apart during this quarantine. So those are ways that kids still get those social skills. We had a great time last night with our special guest, actress, producer Ryan Michelle Bathay, and we discussed the who can help you along this journey, who's going to be your support system, and who's going to share their homeschool experience with you so that you can also learn who are the people that you are going to be able to lean on for both personal and emotional support through your homeschool journey. And as Ryan said, who can do this with us? Looking at the school community, she mentioned looking at her school community, the school in which her children attend, looking at other parents to see if they could probably create some type of support system for one another, as well as organizations you're a part of. Ryan mentioned the Jack and Jill organization she's a part of. So that's the recap for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But today is Friday. And what is the question for today, Delise?
Oh my goodness, it is Friday. And I don't know about you, but I am in total happy hour mode today. So
Totally unplanned.
game plan, we didn't coordinate that, but it's happy hour. I don't know about you all, but we made it through another quarantine week. I know a lot of folks it was the last day of school for some of our folks in surviving homeschool. Some of you got some more weeks to go. So it's a nice opportunity also to celebrate that we made it through another week. And so thank you. That recap was really helpful because, it tells us how far we've come. So our 5th question for today is how? How in the world am I going to implement this?
Big question mark.
Big question mark, right? It's the big one, right? Why is the big one up front? And then how is that big one in the end? How am I going to do this in a way that works for my family? how do I homeschool according to what works right for us, right? Because it's a personal decision. It's based on your own personal family circumstances. And so you have to find something that you have to think through how you're going to do it based on what works for you. And when we were doing that little review, right, we talked about our why, we talked about the when, about ironed out my socialization. I feel like I can have a good support system, but at the end of the day, how am I exactly supposed to do this? How am I going to get this done?
Right. So how for me seems like a very loaded, a very heavy, heavy, heavy question. And I don't think many of us know how we manage what we are already doing. You know, I know a lot of times people say, how do you do it? How do you do all of it? So,
Yes.
and even in those instances, we can't really answer the how of how we do it. And we sometimes feel like maybe we have like a invisible cape on our backs that just, we have that button we can push that kind of pushes us further and just makes things happen. So now we're at the point where we have to think about how we would implement something totally different in our households. And it could seem like a pretty big task, the breaking down of the how.
Well, absolutely, right? You get intimidated by the how question, right? So to your point, when you're thinking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm caring for my family, I'm working full time. Maybe we talk about the sandwich generation. I'm caring for a loved one. You have just a full life. You're involved in organizations. Your kids have full lives, right? So how am I supposed to do this in the midst of that? Um, but the other side, right, is the how do I do this? Like, how do I teach subjects that I don't enjoy, right? How do I teach subjects I didn't even enjoy in school, and now I'm being going to be expected to teach them, or help with those concepts, be the primary teacher for those. How do I? What if I just don't want to teach? What if I just don't like teaching? How am I supposed to get this done if that's not even something that I enjoy? Because teaching definitely wasn't my gift. Teaching was my husband's gift. And so I remember when he first mentioned that he wanted us to homeschool, I was like, teaching is your gift, right? And so I had to wrestle with how am I supposed to do this when I don't even really enjoy repeating myself. And so, that was a huge consideration for me. How do I even know what to teach? How do I find out what my state requires? How do I, find the resources like co-ops and tutorials in my community? How do I incorporate my kids' interests and needs? How do I figure out how to incorporate sports in this? How am I going to organize myself when I need to work during the day? How do I do this with my particular kid, right? My particular kid, right? We've heard all those stories, right? I can't do this, I don't have the
Every
patience.
child is different.
Right. So some people are like, I'll do it with this kid, but how am I supposed to do it with that kid?
Hey.
Absolutely, right. And so, really, that how question will stop someone who has said, I have a strong why. I can figure out when, but how am I supposed to do this when this thing feels very daunting?
Yeah, so that was a whole lot of hows. But I think I could add some to their hows. I mean, the how question, just there's so many different facets to it that we can go on and on and on about how the questions can just mount up on definitely how you're going to implement this. Um, it's like us new to homeschoolers would have to have on training wheels. You have to have on training wheels. And you know
Yeah.
what? You might even have to add one of those little trainers that they can put on the back of the bike when you first take
Yes.
off those training wheels, so that we can have people like you and other people that are experienced in homeschoolers kind of guiding us through before you totally let go and we're without those training wheels. But it'll take those training wheels until we are able to figure out the dynamics of all of these hows.
Absolutely, right. And those are things that's why we get a ton of, if you talk to homeschoolers, right, when someone finds a homeschooler, this is when they start asking those questions. How did I do this? How do I do that? How did you figure out that? What about pay? They start asking those questions. And that's why we thought that the private group would work, because we know that those are people's questions when they're considering homeschooling, and that those questions are very, very specific to people and to their experiences. And I promise, folks, you're not alone. These questions, like Derek mentioned, they continue. They can spiral in your head and cause you to take a pause on something that could potentially be really rewarding for you and for your family. And we've talked about, yes, we understand homeschooling is not for everyone, but the how shouldn't make you stop, because there are ways to get to move beyond some of those hows. Those are answers to some of those hows. Now, obviously, there are some things that you can't maneuver around, right? But there are a lot of, I know that I had a lot of these how questions. And when I was going to people and asking them, like, how are you supposed to do this with a toddler? For those who don't know, when I first homeschooled, our first year of homeschooling, my son was 5 years old. I had a 2-year-old who was potty training, and I had a newborn, like a literal newborn. She was born in July, and we started school in September. And so I was literally asking myself, how do I homeschool? How you think about homeschooling when you have a newborn, a 2-year-old, and a first year homeschooling kindergarten? And so I'm a testimony to the fact that you can wrestle with these hows, especially if your why is strong enough.
Yeah, I think many families would actually consider homeschooling, even if just for the fall, if they could see a way forward past all those how questions, and recognizing that it's so specific to every individual. It is what made us realize that we needed to provide an extra layer of support within the private group. These sessions this week were actually a great start. I think it got our brains churning and our ideas kind of sparked. But some people will need to talk about their particular situation to see if homeschooling is actually realistic for them. And actually, in thinking what you were just saying, Delise, about how people wrestle with things. We don't want this to be something that keeps you from sleeping at night. Um, because, I know when we try to explore something different, I know a lot of people, they get anxiety about new opportunities or new ideas or stepping out into something else. We're setting up this private group so that we can reduce your anxiety, that you can sleep better at night, because we're going to try to work out some of the kinks for you so that you don't have to wrestle and fight with your brain and your questions in your head. You can fight with the questions with Delise and I in the private group.
Well, it's so funny because I see Jamie on here, and I love it because Jamie, I think, is one of our private group members.
Oh,
and
yay!
So, yeah, I'm excited. I see her on here, and so she knows. Yeah, we're going to be that spiraling is real, and we will be able to really wrestle with it together, try to find solutions together, and put together resources so that as you're so we can really just come alongside you, to help you find those resources. You don't have to, like you said, stay up at night trying to figure out how am I going to get this done. So I think that's really I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, that's the advantage of being part of the group.
Exactly, I'm really excited. Mm-hmm. And so the other thing is, when we were talking to Ryan, she was talking about her going to her school community and finding folks to do this with, and it just got me thinking. I was like, Dee and I were talking about last night, people probably would even want to do the private group with a friend, right? Like, let's wrestle with, you got a friend that you're wrestling with this idea together. And she had mentioned, Ryan had mentioned she had some friends. So we were like, we might as well, why don't we just do some kind of discount where people can, get a 2-for, so give a level of discount so that they can do this with a friend, right? And then we also added the option of the 10% cash back, which I'm really excited about, because folks can refer their friends and be able to get an immediate refund, 10% for each friend, up to the amount you pay for your registration. So you could, if you invite, up to 10 friends, you could get your registration for free. Because really, we do not want this to be a barrier for people. We do not want cost to be a barrier for folks. And we know that it is Jamie, yay. That we want folks to be able to take advantage of this. And so just, we're excited to be able to, make those adjustments in the pricing so that people can get with a friend, or also, tell a friend about it or tell a colleague about it. Maybe it's not a friend that you want to go on with your money, but, be able to tell a colleague about it and be able to get cash back too.
Yeah, we definitely don't want people to miss out on this due to financial barriers. And Lisa and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the best price point for this. And we looked at several different other private groups and what they were charging. You don't even want to know how many times over it was for what we're offering. So there's a lot of groups out there that are not necessarily offering the services that we're offering, but there's a lot of private groups out there with different intentions and different products, and they are at least 5 times over what we're offering. So yeah, definitely get in with a friend. or do that referral and get that 10% refund. So we definitely don't want your finances to keep you from the information that we'll be sharing in that private group. So for more details, they are all on the tiny.cc/surviving homeschool site. Please reach out if you have any questions. You guys know how to DM us. A lot of you have our cell phone numbers and you've been using them anyway, so you can continue in that fashion as well. Oh, and if you're not considering homeschooling, but know folks who are, if they sign up, we will send you a 10% off coupon towards the purchase of a virtual class on our new site, which is launching tomorrow.
Our new site's launching tomorrow.
We got a new site. So there's all kinds of surviving homeschool merchandise out there. And there's also already at least 6 offerings from small businesses providing educational opportunities for adults and children. So that will be launching tomorrow. So if you refer a friend, even if you decide you aren't homeschooling and they sign up, we'll give you 10% off for one of those virtual classes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really excited about that because for those who don't know, I know, we have I guess I keep calling it like a burden to support small businesses, to support teachers, to support, those who are providing educational opportunities, consultants, our educational consultants. And we want to be able to also support those who, those of you who need virtual classes, but you need them at a discount. And so our site is offering those virtual classes, but at a discount. And so we'll be releasing that tomorrow. We'll tell you all about it then. But I'm sad about our week of lives ending. But if you are considering homeschooling, just as a review, just make sure you jot down your why. Think about when you're going to find time to do this. Jot down your ideas for socialization. Really think through who's going to support you as you're along this, going along this journey, and lay out the plan for exactly how you want to get that done. Those are your takeaways for this week. And if you feel like you need someone to walk along this journey, we said that we're here. You can check into our page. Otherwise, we'll be on the general surviving homeschool page, continually asking questions as we can, answering questions as we can. But if you want to brainstorm ideas and solutions, we would love to help. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for all
so much fun.
Oh yeah, thank you for liking our red lips today. We thought we would go red.
Planned.
Unplanned. We didn't know. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for joining us every evening for our quick 15 minutes of fun with you. Thank you.
Speaking of fun, we said it was somebody's birthday. So those of you that are prepared, raise a glass. And we'd like to thank Delise for all of her knowledgeable services she has been providing to Surviving Homeschool since March 14th. Thank you for your ideas, the concept, your willpower to keep forging through night after night, day after day, without taking a day off. So today we say thank you and happy birthday. We wanted to at least acknowledge and give you a head nod on your special day, and look at you working for us on your birthday.
Thank you.
Here, cheers, cheers. Oh, and I'm not done.
This is all surprise, y'all. I don't know what she's doing. What you got over there?
No, I always do something.
You do.
Hold on. Let's see if I can figure this out.
She's good for like a drop by, y'all.
Look, you don't live around the corner from me anymore, so.
I know.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Delise. You don't like cake, so I got cookies. Happy birthday to you.
You know me so well, and I love those cookies. Thank you. Thank you.
Blow out your candle.
You got to blow it for me.
There, I was too quick. Yay.
Thank you. Thank y'all. Love you so much. Love you, Surviving Homeschool. Thank you
Our
so
homeschool
much.
took up a collection for a gift.
A collection for a gift.
We have a group gift.
Do you really?
We have a group gift. So this is a birthday unlike any other. So we wanted you to be prepared for this quarantine birthday. And so we got you some essential items. You're gonna need this.
You
You're gonna
are
need,
so funny.
you're gonna need this. This is, you know how much this is going for?
That stuff
This
is valuable. You had to go searching for that. You had to go
is
searching
eight
for that.
ounces. Pants in. You know how much this is going for right now? And we got you prepared. Happy birthday.
Feel very prepared.
And
Yeah,
many more.
you're the best. Thank you so much. That is so kind and loving. I love Dee. Y'all see why I love her so much, and everyone who contributed to the group gift.
We all chipped in.
I'll be coming by. We're gonna do a contactless transition pickup, and I will come and get
So
that.
you can get your TP in your hand.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
We love you, so we wanted to express it in some form or fashion. We'll do better next year.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. My first quarantine birthday. I love y'all. Thank you. Have a really, really, and she gonna eat the cookie in front of me. She gonna eat the cookie. Tell me how it tastes.
Bye bye.
Crazy. Have a great night, y'all. Thank you for celebrating with me. I appreciate all of your support. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday.